Carson Wentz last year. They got a little cute. What they got to do is stop accumulating picks and start taking players like a quarterback, but don't reach for one. There was talk today they were going to take Mitch Trubisky #1. But that was crazy. How are you going to pass up Myles Garrett? They're going to do that. You trade down, but you don't take a quarterback at 1. They pick at 12. They can try to get back up into the top 6 to get Trubisky, who's number 20 on my board. I am sick and tired of hearing people criticize Myles Garrett and his lack of effort. Okay, I heard the same thing in 2002 about Julius Peppers. All he does is have 143.5 career sacks. He's a future Hall of Famer. He's soft. He's a basketball player. Takes downs off. Doesn't play hard. Myles Garrett eclipsed what Jadeveon Clowney did as a freshman. Had a great sophomore year with 19.5 tackles for loss and 12.5 sacks. He was banged up this year. They still had production. Yet we're hearing all this criticism like he's not even one of the best 50 players in the daggone draft. Get real. Myles Garrett deserves to be the #1 pick overall.
Mel, it's a long night. It's a long night.
Hey, well, I'll tell you what, there's 2 players that we're talking about at the top of this draft that would address 2 positions that have really just haunted this franchise since you keep talking about since 1999. 26 different starting quarterbacks since 1999. That's unheard of. And when you talk about defensive players and you talk about Myles Garrett and you talk about pass rush, which on the defensive side of the ball is where it all starts, but they've only had 3 players. 3 players since 1999 have eclipsed double-digit sacks since that time. So the 2 guys who we're talking about at the top of this draft that all the speculations surrounding, hey, those are 2 guys that right now would address 2 of the things that have haunted this franchise since 1999. So we're going to find out. We're going to find out if the passionate one gets his guy or the team gets the quarterback that they need.
Hey, I'm interested in quarterbacks, as you know, but I want a quarterback of the defense. That's why I like Jamal Adams out of LSU, right here with the first pick of the draft. I think he's the best player in this draft. He can call the defenses. He can line them up and knock them down. And then later in the first round, go get you a quarterback for your offense. They're in a great position to get 2 dynamic leaders on both sides of the ball. Don't be so mad.
It's interesting, John. If they do that, obviously he'd be the highest drafted safety ever. The Browns actually already have that distinction, taking Eric Turner 2nd overall in 1991. But let's talk more about Myles Garrett. Obviously, you like him, so take us through the tape.
Well, it seems like you got to keep defending this guy. I keep hearing all this negativity about Myles Garrett. He wasn't 100%. Yeah, did he pace himself in games when he got 100 plays in college football? Yes, he did. Can you pick apart some of the, say, so-called lack of effort? You can with every defensive end. I heard the same thing, as I said, in 2002 about Julius Peppers, who had a great career. You watch him bend the edge. You think he's on the ground. He's like a speed skater coming around that corner. He can play like no other when he is at 100% physically, and he wasn't this year. This kid's 6'4.5", 272 pounds, incredibly long arms, huge hands, ran a 4.64 40, 33 reps in the weight room, shows he'll work hard to improve that upper body strength, which was tremendous at the end of his career. And he had a 41-inch vertical. We don't have cornerbacks or wide receivers with a vertical of 41 and a 10.8 broad jump. My point for the last month has been he can be as good as he wants to be. You say, well, anybody can be as good as he wants to be. No, they can't, because they don't have freakish talent like Myles Garrett. And if he wants to be great, he can be great. And I think when you look at Myles Garrett, you say, well, is he focused on football? He has other interests. So what? He's a multi-dimensional kid. He's a great kid. He reads novels. He's into dinosaurs, paleontology, okay? He's well-rounded in the music, Journey, Hall & Oates, Motown. I mean, what's not to like about a kid who has interest beyond football?
Nothing. I'm worried about you going through the entire night. So can we get Mel a towel? John, what about you?
Hey, I think he's got all the talent in the world. He's a genetic freak, but he's not the best player in this draft. And don't tell me effort isn't important. He needs to study Robert Mathis, the ex-Indianapolis Colt. Read out of the rush, chase the back down. I don't care if you have to go 40 yards. Go hunt that back. Some of the great plays that are made in this league are the ones nobody knows about. Strange to get to the ball. That's what I want to see more from Garrett. There's just too many plays, Mel, where he doesn't cut loose the 4.6 speed. He can make this play if he turns it all on. There's just too many lapses. These are not the only 2 plays. This is too consistent in his play. Effort needs to pick up for him to truly maximize all these talents. He has a ton of talent. On short yardage and goal line, I just see him skimming the edge. He's not a factor on 3rd and 1 or 4th and 1, and he can improve at the point of attack. Hand usage, stance mechanics, pad level. He can be better in all these areas. He's got to buy into Greg Williams, the defensive coordinator, to be a great one, but he sure is talented.
Well, I'll tell you what, you just mentioned a name right now that's going to play a pivotal role if he's drafted by the Cleveland Browns, and that's Greg Williams. Because I can tell you this, Mel, guys who don't want to, you won't want to play for Greg Williams because he will make you want to give it to him all of the time. Look, it's always about consistency. Consistency of effort, consistency of preparation, consistency of love for the game. There's no question he's a freak. But if you don't have consistency of effort and want to